rigor mortis first. This was in the dictionary. It wasn't in the functionary, so I used the regular joint. Stiffness of death, temporary rigidity of muscles after death. So you know when you die and that rigor mortis kick in, it's done. Nigger mortis, this is just my breakdown of this. This is just me twisting the language. The inability of niggers to move forward, stuck, lazy, complacent, spiritually dead. So we could be functioning, but if we spiritually dead, that's going to be nigger mortis. And for the lack of better terms, so I'll explain all the nigger stuff because big hoopla going on with this too. So we'll explain that. Rigor mortis. Can't leave white people out. The fusion of white people's energy and ideas into the energy field of black people to stop the flow, again, which is death, of consciousness and upward mobility. So if we're going to say hip-hop is dead, we just can't say black people killed it. We got to look at the ones who are really controlling hip-hop from a financial standpoint, the ones who control what images are seen by your children on the television, what songs are heard on the radio every single day. Black people don't have no control over that. As much as we would like to think we do not. So for me to come in and look at the effects of something and not the cause is an injustice. Dealing with metaphysics, you're always trained to look at the cause of things as well. So we got to go upstairs and say there's other people involved, especially white people purchase 75% of all hip-hop. A lot of people don't know that. They think we the ones buying. No, we dubbing it. We buying bootlegs. That's what we do. And it's sad, but that's just the way it is. And I buy bootlegs, I'm gonna say that on camera. And I don't feel I'm taking no money out of the rapper's pocket because I know the rapper get 25 cents off an album. 30 cents if he lucky. Maybe $1 if his name is Jay-Z or Jeezy or somebody, maybe. But the artist, and I've been an artist, and I've signed bogus contracts, and I'm telling you, they don't make a lot of money. This is why nowadays what they're doing is they're making their money off the residuals, ringtones, other things like that. And now they're even incorporating that in the contracts so the labels get that money too. They're gonna have to turn this heat off temporarily because I'll start sweating beads up here in a minute. And I'm just getting started. So if we can turn it off and then turn it back on for a few minutes, you know, just kind of, Oh, okay. Oh, you know, once we get focused, we're going to generate energy anyway. So once we get focused and get in what we're doing, we're going to be okay. All right. Hip-hop is dead. Again, hip-hop is energy. And energy cannot be destroyed, as we know. Energy just takes on a new form of energy. Can't be destroyed. So if hip-hop is an energy, and energy, let's look at it like anything we focus our energy on, we give life to. So if you take a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus Christ statue, and millions of people focus their energy on this, they create a living thing. It's got energy to it, and it's energy that's above you because you've given off your power, your center to it. You've made it supreme over you by your thought process, and this goes on all the time. However, anything that we focus a lot of energy on has life. So hip-hop is an energy. Energy can never be destroyed, it can only be transformed. So when we say hip-hop is dead, perhaps again, we're gonna transform this music into something else. However, I just got finished telling you what brought hip-hop about was the crime, the poverty, no jobs, and brothers and sisters having to express themselves, them taking the elements out of the, the instruments out of the classrooms. All of this gave, set the stage, so to speak, to bring about hip-hop. They knocked off the Black Panthers, you know, they knocked off Malcolm, Martin, so all of our so-called leaders, they flooded the hood with heroin in the 70s, speaking from, you know, the states and stuff, and were sedating a lot of the up-and-coming warriors. So the ones who weren't affected, so to speak, began to express themselves in different ways. That brought about hip-hop. Without that, hip-hop wouldn't exist, not in its true essence and form, because we had to voice our opinion about police brutality. We had to voice our opinion about the fact that we didn't have no jobs in our neighborhood. We had to voice our opinion And by us putting it to music just made it more of a spiritual thing, more of a spiritual movement, so to speak. So in this day and time, another thing, brothers didn't have much back then. And that also played into the essence of what hip hop had become. Nowadays, these so-called brothers have think that they have made it. And because they think that they have made it, they high on the hog now. It's no reason for them to create anything new, so to speak. Because the illusion now is that we have made it. And the television has a lot to do with that. When you see these videos, brothers iced out, cars that are not theirs, MTV cribs, rented, not their stuff, but it gives off the perception, look at black people. And these images go all over the world. Don't think they don't. They go all over the world to say, look at our once oppressed, slave-bitten people who are down in the dumps. Look at them now. They don't show the hard-working mother who's struggling with 2 kids. She got to work 2 jobs. They don't even show the good father who got to work that second job to keep the roof over the head. They don't show our doctors, lawyers, astronauts. We have all of that. They don't show that on television. They show the rapper, the baller, the hustler. That's the image that they want to show. If I can get a nice cold one of those, like a frozen one or something, they don't show all of that. So what they do is, the way you perceive it, put it like this, your perception is based on the information that you input. So if the only thing given to you is this data that our black people are ballers, our black women are hoes, sluts, they got their butt out and all that. If that's the only perception you have of us, and that image goes all over the world, then that's who we are, so to speak. Or that's what they would like you to think who we are. And the perception, it's not about truth anymore, it's about the perception of truth. So whatever they put, if they defeat us in a movie, it's real. Because they're dealing with the perception, thank you, bro. They're dealing with the perception of truth. Because they know if they feed it to you and you buy into it, it now becomes real. So we got to be very careful on the things we see and how they're using magic, our own magic, on us. We're the only ones who can make anything happen. We're the spiritual people of the planet. I think that's hands down. So, but if we buy into it, anything that goes on in Hollywood, we can make real. So they put these movies out to introduce that particular concept into our thought stream. And once it reaches enough people's thought stream and we meditate on it, it is now a reality. So any ideas that they want to enter, whether they want to make it law, all they do is introduce it and say, and then this is a mind trick they play on you. They say, 85% of the people up in Canada feel that being gay is the way to go. Now, they can say that, and they just doctored some numbers that don't even exist. Because that's what they do. And then we go, wow, well, if 85% of the people say being gay is the way to go, then I guess being gay is the way to go. And once they continue to do that, keep in mind, this is magic. This is how they perform their magic. Once they continue to do that, it soon becomes a reality. I hate to say it that way, but I gotta keep it as raw as possible. All right, the birth of hip hop. Can everybody see that? Everybody can see that? All right, we're gonna look at it from a couple of different perspectives. As I said, no birth record, everything is everything. So a drummer in 2000 BC is a DJ today. Same thing, still manifesting beats, but just using different elements. We're in a different vibration, we're in a different time frame. But the DNA, as we're gonna speak about that DNA in a minute, is what's key. Because they can alter and change certain aspects, but certain aspects of it will remain the same. So I can relate, I can say hip hop has no birth record because we've been basically using those 4 elements of drumming, writing, the oracle speaking, and dancing since the beginning of time. But now we call this particular aspect of it, or this vibratory frequency of it, hip hop. Now, but when you name something, a lot of times you kill it. Because before we named it hip hop, it was chaos. It just was. We was just doing it. Once we gave it a name, we allowed those who couldn't comprehend what we were doing once we name it, because that's what white people do, they name things to give them a better understanding of how to deal with it. So once we named it hip-hop and gave it a format, now they can move into stage 2, was to find out how to exploit it, because they don't care about the spiritual aspect of it. If the spiritual, for us, manifests into dollars, for them, it's a go. Their whole concept is, how can we make money from this? How can this be something, because their God is money. And I'm not even talking about white people. I'm talking about certain individuals who ride on that frequency. You could be blue. If you are in contact or your vibration is being affected, because if you hang out with non-broke people, chances are you're going to be number 10. That's just a fact. So my mother used to say, watch who you hang out with. You know what I'm saying? If you're hanging out with brothers who want some thug and criminal activity, you're going to get caught up in it sooner or later. Haphazardly or not, you will be caught up in it, or you'll be riding in a car that's dirty and you knew nothing about it. So we want to be clear with that. Current vibrational frequency kicked in about 1973.